Okay, I am going to throw a vase using a single piece of clay. So here's an example of a vase made from a single piece of clay. Here's a vase that's been made from multiple sections. So something like this is what I'll throw right now. Start out with a cylinder, and then you'll shape it into a vase. One of the skills you'll learn in making this vase is how to collar the neck. So you're constricting the top, you're making it narrower, and that's a great skill to learn. So it'll then allow you to throw closed forms and make teapot spouts, make bottles. So flat floor, now I'm compressing the floor, prevents fast cracks. One of the things that you're going to need to plan for is you need to determine where you're going to work on the neck, where you want the neck to be on your piece. Like if you want a really long neck, then it might be that you need from here up for collaring. The part that you're going to need to collar, you need to leave the wall thickness a little bit thicker. And the reason being is that when you collar, if the wall is too thin, you're going to have more difficulties. So some planning is essential. Okay, so from here on up, I'm going to leave it a little bit on the thick side. So as soon as I'm able, I have my hands joined. Okay. Let's see. Could be thinner down here. Okay. Look pretty good. So now what we want to do is we want to shape the body of the pot while we can still get our hand inside, okay, before this gets too narrow. So hand on the outside is more as a brace, the hand on the inside is pushing out, creating volume. Let's see. All right, so that's done. So now I can collar. And so what I'm doing is I'm using these 3 points. So the tip of my index and my thumb, and then the first knuckle of my middle finger. So that on both hands, and squeezing as I come up. And if I start to get this kind of ruffling or crinkling, that's a sign that probably the wall was a little too thin in that area. If I start to get like an oval shape this way or this way, then it means I need to adjust how I'm applying pressure to avoid that oval, because it could cause the sides to collapse in on themselves. Okay, so it's going to be hard for me to get in there to get slip and water out, so you'll want to make sure that you take care of that before you get too far along in the process. Like right now, I could just fold the sponge up and then put a needle tool through it to get any water slip out. Okay, I always alternate collaring with pulling. Let's see. Because when you collar, the wall thickens in on itself, which also affects the alignment of the clay particles. So when you pull, you realign the clay particles, and you also get rid of a little bit of that unnecessary thickness. Okay, and then you collar. Pull. So collar and pull, collar and pull. That's how you'd get to a bottle or closed form. Okay. It's a very simple shape. Now if you're wanting some exaggeration, this is the time to do it. So I'm going to do this kind of stuff at the very end, because the piece can't handle the stress for too long. Okay, so that's the vase.